Welcome to Extras, part of the Drag Me to the Movies podcast. My name is Joe.
I'm Ned.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about the actors and actresses that when we see them on the title card, we're just not interested. We just we couldn't give a damn to give them more time or attention. Maybe I'm going a little harsh, but that's kind of the general idea of this one, right?
Yeah, generally. At
Yeah.
least,
So
so I don't want to necessarily say we absolutely hate them and won't see anything they're in. At least for me, I think most of them, I question it. And is it worth it?
yeah, I have maybe one that is on the list where I'm like, I definitely don't want to support this person.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
rest are kind of like I'm not interested.
Fair.
So yeah, so I guess there's going to be differing amounts of no, we're not doing it
hmm
kind of
True.
attitude. So how do you want to start this? You want me to throw one out there? How many do you have? Let me ask you that first.
I mean, I have a list of like 11, but I don't know if I was going to throw them
Oh,
all out.
Jesus. Okay, I
Do
have
you?
four.
Okay.
So why
All
don't
right.
you start then?
All right.
Uh, we'll alternate back.
All
All
right.
right.
So I'm going to start with someone a little bit more recent. And it's just mostly like her personality, her handling of media and marketing for movies and stuff. But that Rachel Zegler, um, she, I just don't feel like she's a good person. Um, the
Oh,
way
really?
she portrayed things for Snow White, um, the way she handled just a lot of things poorly, honestly. I don't really have any interest in seeing anything that she's in, for her at least.
Okay.
So
I
I don't
really
know.
have no frame of reference to her other than the deep fakes people were making of her as Snow White. I don't know if you saw
Mm,
those on
I
like
have
TikTok.
seen a few of them. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I know nothing of her. I've not watched the new Snow White. I've heard it's hot garbage. I
yeah.
heard there's a lot of controversy around the film. Not that it's her fault necessarily, at least
Some of
controversy
it
I've
is
heard. But yeah, okay. So she's a terrible person, is what it comes down to.
at least for me. She's definitely not someone on my list that I care to give two shits about.
Okay. All right. I'm looking through her filmography here. Looks like Hunger Games, West Side Story, Shazam, the new Shazam, I should say, which I've not seen. I really need to. Uh, Y2K. Yeah, so a lot of stuff I've not seen.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with her before?
Uh,
Snow White?
no, not really. Which is kind of why I'm also not afraid to write her off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Um, I have one also for controversy sake
Okay.
that I don't want to support, and that's Ezra Miller.
Mm,
Uh,
he was on my
I don't
list.
know if is he?
He is. He's
Nice.
second on my
Yeah,
list.
so oh, nice. So, yeah, so I mean, I don't have mine ordered, I guess, at
Nor
all.
do
I
I
just have mine
necessarily, but he was one of
yeah.
like as I was rattling through names, he ended up being the second one I wrote down.
Yeah, I first off, I don't think he's a good Flash. You
No,
know,
no,
I
I
think
hate
the
his
TV
portrayal.
Flash is a lot better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then all the controversy around, like, assault, burglary, sort of the conduct, harassment, grooming
yeah.
of minors, goes on and on and on. Just seems like a
Mhm.
terrible person.
Indeed.
So yeah, I'm not really in the camp of supporting them. Now that being said, if there's somebody else's film and Flash makes an appearance, I'll probably watch it. But if it's like Flash, like or whatever character this person's playing,
hmm
I'm gonna avoid it.
Yeah, same. And I think that goes for every movie he's in. That it has to either have a great story or other people I give a shit about to be able to go see it. I'm not going to
Yeah,
go
that's
see a
fair.
movie just for him.
Yep.
So yeah. So I guess my next one, uh, kind of, I don't know. I don't want to blame him per se, but I don't know. He's had some good movies, but generally I kind of hold heavily on whether or not I'm going to go see a movie he's in until I see more. But Jared Leto is one of those individuals that I kind of get a little hung up on, like whether or not I want to see the movie. And it's just, as I said, I don't think it's largely his fault. I have a feeling he has his influence, like how the Joker stuff played out in the Suicide Squad. Just some of the other movies he's chosen to take on. I'm like, I don't know if I like you in this and how you're portraying this character. Um, so I don't necessarily want to say he's a bad actor because he's done some movies where it's been okay. It's just something I have reserves when I see
Can
his
I
name in the cast.
can I make a bold claim
Sure.
about Jared Leto? I think Jared Leto is like the Dollar General version of Nick Cage. And why I'm
Uh,
saying that is that he picks roles that are not great and tries to own them, you know?
yeah,
But I don't think he does a good job at it. I don't think he has that standout value in a lot of cases to make those weird roles work, whereas Nick Cage is kind of unhinged in a way in those films. Really, if you think back about Nick Cage, a lot of the stuff he acts in doesn't make sense, but
yeah, I agree. He's
his
got
over the top attitude kind of pulls it in,
yeah,
kind of makes a terrible film better.
yeah,
Um, so I that's how I'm at least tying those two together.
yeah. I'll give you that, I
But I
guess.
will go see a Nick Cage film.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, who's your
Okay.
next one?
Yeah, so Jared Leto did not make my list. He was I contemplated it, but
Okay,
like I don't know. Like I feel like he's one that gets a lot of bad rep.
I agree,
Um
and that's kind of why I don't want to like
unnecessarily in some cases.
say I'll never see another Jared Leto movie, but it's
Right.
definitely got to be something good.
You're gonna have to hear some high marks ahead
Yes,
of time,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right. So to keep on, I guess, on topic of why this whole episode exists, due to a conversation we had before about your dad, uh Jaden Smith is on my list.
Okay,
I he reminds me of a very spoiled brat, whiny kid.
okay.
And I don't know. I just in the stuff that I've seen him in, it's not been great.
Yeah, I
Um,
can only think of one movie I've seen him in. It's the Karate Kid one.
yeah, yeah. I didn't care for it. Did you?
Honestly, I saw it once and then kind of forgot about it. So yeah, I didn't really necessarily care one way or the other, but I don't remember like placing the blame on him and his performance particularly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything really to say that like he's the worst actor in the world.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know. I don't know if it's just Will Smith's fall
Yeah,
recently as
maybe.
well, playing into it. But like I don't know. Just overall, I'm not interested in anything that comes out uh, from Jaden. So
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
So what's your next one?
My next one is more of kind of like a anytime I see him on the screen, it's usually I get annoyed. Um, Andy Dick.
He's on my list too.
Is he?
When you described him, I was like, "This is perfect. I can segue into Andy Dick." I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. He's like one of those ridiculous, obnoxious
"Yep,
people, and he's essentially typecast as that. And I don't see the appeal to see someone like that in a movie.
yep,
So
yep."
yeah,
I'm in agreement there. Yeah, he's just annoying.
yeah,
And you know what's funny though, like, cause like in comparing my list to like when I was looking at like people,
hmm,
like I was struggling on whether I put Tom Green on this list, right?
right,
Uh, but I ultimately kept him off the list, and I was like, no, Andy Dick's more annoying than
yes,
Tom Green, and Tom
agreed,
Green is annoying as shit.
yes,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I if he's in the film as a side character, which he is typically, um, it's okay, but I don't enjoy the screen time he gets typically.
but yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I was looking back through his filmography, and there was one movie where I'm like, okay, he was in it, but I didn't care that he was in it, and I liked the movie overall. Was like Employee of the Month. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
yes, yeah,
Yeah. So like his character in that isn't annoying. He pretty much just plays like a blind dumb character, which I'm like, okay, that works. Like he's not over the top. He's kind of grounded. He has some funny moments. Like that worked for me. But anything else I've seen him in, he's just ridiculous.
yeah. Yep. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Okay.
So I took another one from you. My bad.
Yeah. So I have one left.
Okay.
Um, and so maybe you can choose one from your list if this fits.
Hmm.
But this person, I have nothing against them. They're actually like probably one of the kindest people that I've seen
Hmm.
like interviewed,
Sure.
and probably one of the most charitable people. So I don't want this to reflect on the person's like character.
Sure.
But it's Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I don't care to see a single Tyler Perry film.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he almost made my list.
okay.
And I think it's in the very similar vein. Like I don't see the appeal of some of the movies he's made. Primarily the Medea stuff. Um, I don't know. I just like I've seen other movies kind of similar. Like I don't know. In my head, like without even seeing any of them, it just goes to Big Mama's House, which generally I
Mhm.
enjoyed that movie, but I just don't see the appeal of Medea. Um,
Right.
Now there have been some movies I've seen him in that I didn't hate. Trying to think of the one. Gosh, it's been a while. It's the one with the guy from Lost. What was it called?
Matthew Fox, you mean?
Yeah, Matthew Fox is in it, where he ends up playing like uh Tyler Perry plays a cop that's essentially trying to hunt Matthew Fox down. And I'm
I'm not
not
familiar with that one.
seeing it in his. Oh, well, that's why. Gosh, hold on. A moment of silence, please.
Hold, hold.
Alex
I'm
Cross.
holding.
Alex Cross is
That's
a
the name of the
movie.
film.
That's the name of the film. It is from 2012. It's not a great film, but it's one that is like I don't hate Tyler Perry in this. And Matthew Fox is trying to play like a weird kind of like psycho killer person. So yeah, it
Hmm.
worked. It worked for me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, is there anybody on your list that fits that same kind of criteria?
Oh, geez. Anyone else? Um, I guess I have one that kind of maybe relates. Rosie Perez. You know who she is?
No, I'm looking her up. And the name sounds familiar.
I don't know. Like in general, I've seen some good movies that she's been in,
Hmm. Okay.
but
Yeah.
there are a lot of ones that I see her in where she plays like a very whiny character, and just enough of the whining kind of gets to me. Like, White Men Can't Jump, great movie. Don't like it for her. But
Okay.
that's generally kind of my point with her is she kind of annoys me. But I'll check out a movie if she's not the main character in it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not terribly familiar with her, so I will take your word for it.
Okay. All right. So I guess the rest I'm just gonna be throwing out and see
Yeah,
what
you
you
just
know about
rapid
the
fire.
person. All right. Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, so I I will openly admit that I was googling what other people
Mm-hmm.
put also as, and she showed up on a shit ton of lists,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily get it. I think for what she does typically, it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like a lot of like romantic comedies types things,
Yeah.
like maybe glorified Hallmark movies, right? I think she does okay. Um, for what it is, but yeah, what put her on your list?
So for me, primarily, like I just don't think she's a great actress. Um, and I think she doesn't always choose solid movies. Like a lot of her movies are very bad. Sometimes I do credit her bad acting for it.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's ultimately
Did
why for
you
me.
did you see that Netflix film that she was in? I'm trying to remember what it was called. Um, no, I'm gonna be the one telling you to hold. Uh, it was like a sci-fi Atlas. It was called Atlas. It just came out last year.
No, I didn't see it.
It looked interesting to me, but now I'm seeing reviews that aren't aren't so great. Uh, but it almost reminded me of like, I don't know, like post-apocalyptic space travel, big robot mech type stuff.
Sure.
The trailer seemed interesting to me, but yeah, it's only like got a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's not rated too well. So
Yeah, I don't
okay,
know. I mean, that's
all right,
generally like I credit pretty much her acting for it.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
So, all
All right,
right.
what else you got?
Uh, Another one. I don't know. This is. I have a feeling some people are gonna get frustrated, but James Franco.
Hmm, that's a good one.
There's something about him I don't like.
Yeah, same. I don't mind his brother.
Yeah, David
Um,
Franco. He's great.
yeah,
I love everything I've seen him in. But James Franco, like he always rubs me the wrong way in anything I see him in.
yeah, I agree.
So I can't
I
really
agree.
speak at exactly what, but
He
in
kind of comes
general,
off as stoner douche. If I could classify him in any
Stoner
way,
douche, yes,
because he's
but he's
because he's
also
not a
got like
jock.
a scummy person to me.
Well, wasn't he scummy in real life too? Don't I remember there being some?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to his life.
Yeah. Well, I
Probably.
just remember in the news at one point. I'm gonna Google that to see if I don't wanna cause hearsay.
Yeah, no worries. Speaking of hearsay,
Mhm.
the next person on my
Um,
list.
yeah, there was some sexual misconduct of uh exploiting women to get them careers in acting.
Hmm,
That's what I remember.
yeah,
So yeah, not a great guy if any of that's true.
no, definitely not.
All right, exploitation.
But the hearsay stuff
Hearsay,
leads
yeah.
me into Amber Heard.
Amber Turd, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's been some movies before the whole Johnny Depp thing that I was like, okay, yeah, she's in it. But I'm not watching a movie for her. Um I don't know if you're familiar with her work much outside of what maybe Aquaman.
Yeah, just never had Aquaman really.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the first movies I think I noticed her in let's see. It's that UFC movie, I think. Never Back Down. I don't know if you've ever
I
seen
don't
that
know
one.
that one. No.
So Never Back Down was kind of like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a Rocky type thing with UFC fighting, but more aimed at teenagers. And it came out in 2008, which it just hit me at the right time, and I liked a lot of the acting in it, but not necessarily because of her.
Okay.
So yeah, Amber Heard makes
So
the
not a
list.
fan of Amber Turd. Got it.
Correct. Um, the next one, I just haven't seen a lot of her content, but anything I do see from her, I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. Uh, Amy Schumer,
Okay.
I don't find her funny. Like she's kind of, I think, meant to be funny, but I don't find her
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, I don't have anything against her. But if I saw her on on the title for a film, I don't think I would go just for her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think ultimately, for me, if it's somebody I'm not aware of or I'm indifferent about, they're not going to draw me to the theater unless I hear that there's like a buzz going around about how well it was or
Right.
how good it was.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I and once we're done talking about Amy Schumer, I'll give you an example of that. But
Okay.
um,
Go
yeah,
for it.
I agree. I don't I'm not terribly familiar with a lot of what she does, and I don't necessarily want to be
Yeah. No,
either.
that's fair. But throw out.
Um,
Go for it.
yeah, so mine not. I absolutely will go see this person now, but Robert Pattinson. We talked about that
Yeah.
before.
Yep.
Like he was jaded with me for Twilight, but when I started hearing the Batman was getting good reviews, I was all right. Like I'll give this guy a chance, and he was a fantastic Batman.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he's
so yeah,
anything. There's a few others outside of Batman that he's obviously good in. Obviously that led to you with Mickey 17 and liking his performance there, right?
I liked his performance. I didn't care for the film, but
Right. Right.
I thought he did a good job at just like we talked about last episode. kind of playing two different people on the screens at the same
Well,
time.
he played more than just one.
Well, that's true. That's true.
um, so yeah, I definitely kind of agree. She's just, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, just yeah. All right, moving on. The next one I have is, I guess, I don't know. Like, I don't want to lump her in with Amy Schumer, but she's also someone that I don't care to see, and I don't really find her super funny. Is Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like,
I feel
she
like
almost
I feel
has
like
like an
she'd
Andy
be a
Dick quality to me.
yeah, almost Andy Dick trying to be Chris Farley,
Kind of.
would be how I would describe her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't care for her either. Like I've I watched Pitch Perfect before,
Mhm.
which is not something I would typically watch, and I feel like she was a kind of a stain on the film.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a film that I would go out of my way to watch, but like she didn't add to it, I guess, is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, there's a new one that I saw a trailer for that's coming that she's getting. It's called Bride Hard, which is essentially she plays like, I guess, FBI, CIA, something like that. So she's undercover and she's meant to be a maid of honor, but she ends up not getting that position. It just looks bad. Like anything I see her tied to, I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, all right, my final person. This one, I did send this list over to my wife to kind of like get her thoughts and see if anything registered with her. This particular one did not sit well with her. Because she's like, he's cute. I was like, I'm not judging them for cuteness. Um,
Huh.
but but Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bit of a callback.
Yeah. He obviously there's the Batman movies he was in, which usually I watch those because I love Batman. But I don't see him as a good actor. And he is someone who also just makes horrible decisions as far as like what roles to take on. So
He
that's,
it's it's because he was Robin and ruined Batman, isn't it? That's what
I
it comes
mean,
down to.
subconsciously maybe,
That's what did it. I get it.
but realistically, it's more his performance in things I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, even just looking at the Batman stuff, Batman Forever, I don't like his acting there. Um, it, it it almost pulls me out of the movie sometimes going back and rewatching that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it. Those are the
Okay.
individuals that kind of pulled me or give me reserve when choosing to watch a movie. So
All right, I do have one to add.
okay,
Um, you talking about female actresses kind of brought one to mind that I'm not a fan of,
okay,
and that's Molly Shannon
oh okay,
from SNL.
yeah,
I
no,
I've always thought her performances were annoying. Basically just loud, boisterous,
yeah,
and you know, kind of over the top. And what little I've seen her in films been the same. Um, you know, like Superstar, same thing. Night at the Roxbury, same thing. Talladega Nights, it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So yeah, she's one that I probably wouldn't go out of my way. Um,
yeah. I would say that's fair.
Now, one that just to kind of close it around, Kate McKinnon, I think she's hilarious, but I think she's had a bad go at Hollywood. Um, I I don't know, like in the Ghostbusters reboot, I thought she was okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like wasn't terribly funny. Overall, the film itself wasn't very good. Um, and I don't know if it's the writing or if it's the acting overall that did it, but just wasn't great. She did okay in the Barbie film, but again, I didn't care for Barbie.
And she was meant
So
to be wacky and stuff there, which I guess works. I don't know.
yeah, like I think she's a really good like actress. I haven't seen her in anything yet where I'm like, well, not like a like a classically trained actress. Okay, like I get that, But like for like a Will Ferrell film or something like that, I think she could probably do pretty well in.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with
But
that. Like she's kind of typecast, but I think in most cases appropriately so. I
yeah,
mean,
I just
obviously,
haven't seen her in anything that fits though her
yeah,
yet
if there is
in
anything I
Hollywood.
see her in, like I'm not gonna. She's not on my list. Like I'll give whatever if it's got a story, but I'm not gonna seek out a movie that has her in it for sure.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
like I want to say I did see the one movie she was in, Bombshell. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
No, I see it's on her filmography, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, that one I think she was kind of like a side character on it. She was okay there, a little bit more serious, not as funny.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe if she gets a chance at something, I'll give it a chance and reevaluate. And that's the same thing for any of these people I've mentioned. There's always something that they can do to kind of get redemption with me. It's just their past work and stuff that I've been exposed to is usually something that I'm like, "Eh, I'm good."
Hmm. Yep. Agreed. Agreed. I think it was a pretty good list we came up with. I mean, you definitely did the majority of the work on this one. But I agree with, the majority of what you brought out there, if not all. So I'm curious, listeners, what are your thoughts? Is there
Who did
anyone
we
we
miss?
missed? Right. I mean, there's plenty, like I said, that I read online, like Adam Sandler came up quite a bit.
Oh my gosh,
I
there's so
I
many
I
people.
I get it. I get why people wouldn't like him, but they're wrong.
They are. Nick
uh
Cage came up
but
on the
yeah,
list, which
yeah.
whatever.
Again, I get it. I get
But they're
it, but
wrong.
they're wrong. They're wrong. So yeah, let us know on our socials at To The Movies Pod on Threads and on Facebook.
Yeah,
We'd
let us
love
know
to
what you thought
know.
of our lists.
Yeah. And as a reminder, next week or next episode, even, we're going to be doing Fast and the Furious.
Hell yeah.
We're going to be talking about family quite a bit. I'm sure it's going to be great. So you make sure you listen to this episode with your family in the car. Make sure that it's on a long drive so they can't escape the car while they're listening to the episode.
Yeah.
And that they slowly get brainwashed into becoming an active listener of the podcast.
And watching the entire Fast and Furious franchise.
Indeed. Indeed. We're here to make the actors' pockets thicker. That's why this podcast exists.
Yeah.
We're here to help Hollywood because it's struggling.
Right. Yep.
That's why we're here.
And we're trying to
Uh,
critique them into not casting these individuals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But Ned, good conversation. Appreciate it as always. And until next time, bye bye.
Bye, everybody.